Folks, I want to share with you a couple of quotes from Barbara Corcoran. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Barbara Corcoran. She is best known, obviously, for being on Shark Tank. If you're in the real estate game, she started her brokerage with $300 or $3,000, blew it up to hundreds of millions of dollars before she sold out. So she knows what she is talking about real estate. She has two quotes out here recently that I'm going to share with Dion, and he will pick which one we start with. Dion, how you doing?
Howdy, I'm doing great. I'm excited about this. I love it when we talk about somebody like uh, Barbara or Kevin O'Leary or any of the people from Shark Tank or any of the billionaires, Musk, you name any one of them. Because if they say something like the quotes that you're going to talk about, if we say it, it sparks a debate in the comments. Mm-hmm. When they say it, same thing, people take notes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, Dion, here are the two quotes that I've seen Barbara Corcoran talk about in the last 14 days. They seem to be talking about two separate outcomes. So here's number one. She says real estate is going to be a bloodbath. Pause, different interview, different discussion. Real estate prices are going to skyrocket once interest rates fall. So, Barbara has shared both of those quotes. Which one would you like to dig into first?
So in the last couple of days, here's what I think happened. I think she made those quotes end of May, right? She wrote an article end of May that had those quotes in it, which then cycled to TikTok and Instagram. And in the last couple of days, I've gotten some pretty viral reels sent to me from people. One of them, my son, who actually sent the thing saying, how is this possible? How's it going to be a bloodbath? And at the same time, she's saying, real estate prices are going to skyrocket when interest rates come down. Because prices have continued to go up in a lot of markets while interest rates went up. So that has to be inversely related somehow. And my answer is she's right on both. Right. So as we go through this, I agree. She's right, 100% right on both of these. Let's pick the bloodbath first because people like tragedy and fear and the train wreck you can't look away from. That's why the Crash Bros get so many views. But there is a bloodbath. And I think there's a bloodbath in two things. She's talking about one, but I think there's two things that we could talk about the bloodbath in.
Yeah, so I think she's absolutely right. The other thing, folks, I have receipts. I've been warning about this bloodbath for a while. In fact, you have heard me talk to investors in this category, and we have shown how a $250 million property could be worth $87 million. Like that. I would tell you that's a bloodbath. We have shared stories about a 3,200 unit apartment complex in Houston, Texas that burned $100 million in 11 months, folks. That's hard to do. That's almost 10 million bucks a month in limited partners. So the thing that I would tell folks to listen to is I actually try to do this on my channel, Dion. I talk about the real estate market and the housing market on purpose. When people talk real estate, like real estate is going to be a bloodbath, they are probably talking about commercial. They are talking about the big stuff. So when you hear Barbara Corcoran talk about bloodbath in real estate, or you hear billionaire Barry, or you hear any of these other billionaires who are focused on office, multifamily, hotels, retail, things of that nature, they're getting their asses handed to them. In fact, I think the bloodbath is so bad. There are billionaires, probably like billionaire Barry, who probably aren't billionaires anymore. If they had to mark to market their portfolios, they would be underwater. Folks, there are buildings today that are worth less than the debt. That is not good. So I agree. There is a huge bloodbath coming to commercial, and it's just started.
So the commercial bloodbath partially is because a lot of office space isn't needed, right? First, you also have the bad debt. Right? Like, in my opinion, adjustable rate debt with a loan revaluation period based on NOI. When remote work is more possible, so less people are using the offices, you're just having this massive bloodbath in commercial. And then with apartments and commercial, where it's still kind of housing, I think apartments also has the weird debt versus the 30 or 40-year fixed rate debt. So you have new interest rates that can make it to where they're not showing a profit. So you have the bloodbath there. The second bloodbath that I don't think that she was referring to, but I also associate with real estate, is we have a crash in transactions. So if your business model is you're a lender, you're an agent, you make a lot of your money off of the transactions that happen, the bloodbath is there that lenders and agents should have a side hustle.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to tell you, I think August, right? We're recording this on August 7th. I think August is going to prove to be, it could prove to be the cycle low. It is going to be horrible this month. The pendings that came into the month, it like the 10 markets, 10, 12 markets I checked, all down. I don't know how August transactions doesn't fall below 4 million. The current cycle low is 4 million. 4.02 million is the cycle low currently. I think we break that this month. It's ugly out there. You're absolutely right. And I know there's this great channel that called the transaction crash early, so they're a genius.
I remember it was one of, I think, our most viewed videos. The last time I looked, it had about 40,000 views, is when we said the crash is here. We finally, because we, for so long, we were fighting the crash boats saying, look, there's no crash in prices coming. There's a crash in transactions coming. We were clarifying, and then we finally just said, let's just make a video that the crash is here, it's coming, but it's in transactions, right? So we just didn't like clarify right off the bat. That got the views because people want to hear about a crash, and that's the crash that was called, has happened, continues to happen, and as interest rates stay where they're at or possibly go up, it could even be worse going forward.
Yeah. Well, let's flip the script, because the other thing that I saw is Barbara Cochran is saying that real estate, okay, that housing, because again, I got to be clear, real estate versus housing prices will skyrocket when interest rates fall. What do you think about that?
And again, I go back to views sometimes. One of my most viewed shorts was Millennial Mike asking me when interest rates were going to come down. Okay. I know the exact date interest rates will come down.
Okay, please share.
The same day prices skyrocket.
Exactly.
Because that's what the demand is going to come out. You've done several kind of studies on, is it 5%? Is it 6%? Is it 4%? At 4%, it's stupid. Like the demand just goes through the roof. Prices probably double. At 5%, they probably go up a good 10 to 20% market wide almost.
Easy.
And at 6%, we unlock demand and unlock supply a little, because people might be able to sell their house. That they're trapped in with that low interest rate now, which sounds like a bad thing, but who wouldn't like to own a property right now with another property with a 3% interest rate? It's not a bad trap to be in. It just means that you're not going to be selling, right? So it kills two transactions, causing that further crash in transactions. So yeah, if interest rates come down, prices go up. Here's where the argument comes from. Interest rates went up and prices went up. Correct. Buying power went down, so transactions went away. The transactions went from 6 to 4 million ish. But the demand, the people who can pay, the people who are redeploying 1031, taking money and moving it, people who have high income jobs that are.
You and I both bought a house in the last 30 days. Let's not be
right.
confused.
Just closed, and then I bought one. The last one before that was 2021, so it was a little ways before that, but. When interest rates go up, prices go up. When interest rates go down, prices go down, because they're not directly tied. They are tied to buying power. So when buying power goes down, transactions shrink. But when buying power goes up, because interest rates come down, prices and transactions will go up. So the interest rates is tied to buying power, which is tied to transactions.
Correct.
Not very much of that is tied to price.
No, it absolutely isn't. And again, I have a 53-year spreadsheet for free on my website. It's so valuable. It was it was the key that gave me the call that was correct on transactions. And also the key for no price crash to the, and let's be clear, I'd love a price crash because I've been saving the cash to buy some stuff. But yeah, so I think Barbara is right on both fronts. I am getting super excited for the bloodbath that is coming to the real estate market. I am super excited for what may happen if interest rates fall, because I took action and bought real estate. So, you can let inflation be your friend and get rich from it. So, that's good. So I think Barbara's right on both sides. And I look forward to both outcomes, frankly.
I do too. And if anybody's telling you to hurry and buy, or if anybody's telling you to wait and buy, they're going to cost you money.
Yeah.
There's only two things that tell you when to buy a property. Let us know in the comments if you want to hear what those two things are in another video. But it's not rates, it's not prices, It's not rents. It's not economic drivers. It's not GDP. It's not recession. It's not bear, bull. None of that tells you when to buy real estate. Only those two things that we could talk about in another video if you want to tell you when to
Folks,
buy.
turn into the Dion talk. Go check out his YouTube. He will answer the questions there. That's a great tease. Thanks, buddy.
Ciao.